Hey Cancers, welcome to your forecast reading for November of 2020. If you were hanging out with me on TikTok, you might have been led to this video from that page. If you're finding me here and this is your first time ever even hearing about the fact that I have a TikTok profile, I have it linked in the description box below. So welcome. So for November 2020, like I said on TikTok, I had already pulled some cards that is kind of like representing the overall energy for what you guys can expect to have happen. And I pulled here for you guys the King of Swords, which I said was representing a potential air sign here. So a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius. And so what I was saying was that it's hard to fit this all into 1 minute long messages, but the King of Swords represents someone whom either you know via academics or you're in communication with. It can sometimes represent a father figure, but you kind of have to pull more cards to get an impression of like who this person is in relation to you on a deeper level. Next to it, I did pull the Wheel of Fortune. So some kind of good omen, it seems, in relation to this person. Then what I was saying was that I had here the Four of Pentacles as well as the Chariot. And the Four of Pentacles reversed represents taking a risk, because in the upright, the Four of Pentacles usually represents someone who's very stagnant. They're very comfortable with, materially what they have going on in their life, what their life looks like. But the problem is that sometimes you can get too comfortable. Too much of a good thing can end up being a bad thing, right? So the Four of Pentacles reversed refers to this risk that is meant to be taken. And so when we had the Chariot come through reversed as well, for me, I interpreted that to say, well, this risk that you're taking potentially in relation to this King of Swords character is going to be much more easier than what you're perceiving it to be in your mind. For some of you, this could be a romantic situation. For others, it could just be representing a certain person that's on your mind. Again, like I said, it could be a father figure. The point is that it's very masculine energy, right? So let's pull more cards. Let's kind of dive deeper into what could be going on. I do feel like I want to pull some tea leaf oracles here first. Very interesting. I just pulled 4-leaf clover. Great, good fortune. So now you've got two cards here that are both referencing like really good luck, so this is something to be paying attention to for sure. Now let's see, I'm going to pull from the other half of the deck. Okay, so we have here carriage, a journey, either physical or mental, but then we have here happiness. So Cancers, I think something good is coming your way for the month of November for sure. I think that the biggest issue that you're having right now is just allowing yourself to step outside of your head and to step outside of like what you're telling yourself is going on. I think that there's a lot more fear that you're creating for yourself than what is actually truly existing, okay? So let's pull more cards. Wow, I'm very impressed. You keep getting cards that are representing like really great fortune. So we've got here the Nine of Cups now, and the Nine of Cups, it's a card that represents like self-love and self-care, because anytime we get the number 9, this represents the Hermit in tarot. So it's going back to you having appreciation for yourself, you taking care of your emotional being, right? But the Nine of Cups, like a really general interpretation or like meaning for the card itself, just means like wishes granted, good vibes overall, like getting what you want out of a situation. So now we have what? 3 cards that are pointing towards good fortune. We also have here the King of Wands, could be representing, again, another father figure situation, more masculine energy here. But this is now fire energy. So Sagittarians, Leos, and Aries. We do also have the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles in the upright represents an investment, seeds being planted, being able to reap the harvest in the future. With this again, I might have to I'm going to probably pull a clarifier on this, but really what this is saying to me is it's kind of along the similar lines of the Four of Pentacles. Like, this is a risk that's a lot easier than what you think it is. Because also the Chariot is also represented with the number 7, right? So 7 of Pentacles and the Chariot. Both of these cards are really representing to me that it's not as difficult of an uphill climb as, again, you're making it seem in your head. So let's pull a clarifier. Wow. Knight of Pentacles, slow but sure energy, slow but sure success. And then the Magician, it's about realizing what the vision is and going for it, going towards it. It's also about like taking that first step. I think the biggest issue why you feel like you haven't been able to find success is just simply because you haven't actually given it a go. You haven't actually tried, you know? And it does feel very general and very vague for Cancerians, but I think that that's because for different people, this is going to hit different aspects of your life, right? Again, like I said, it's romantic for some people, could be related to a father figure for others. And, you know, since we do have quite a few pentacles, obviously it can be related to career or even academics, you know? So again, it's going to hit people differently depending on what you're coming to this video with. So what should we do next? Let's go in with the Rebel Oracle. Okay, so it says shame, regret, and guilt. Those things are just BS. Forgive. Let that shit go. So is there maybe a certain person that you've had some kind of predicament with? More so like along those King of Swords vibes? Let's see here. It definitely seems to be gearing towards career-related information. So like career or academics for people, because Eight of Pentacles, this is my apprenticeship or internship card. So it's referring to those of you that perhaps are looking into higher level education, whether or not you're wanting to go back to school, or if you're considering like maybe what field you want to be majoring in. And furthermore, it can also represent people like that are starting a new job or in a new field, and they're kind of just learning like the bare bones of how to navigate this new world. It does feel like, no, I don't think that's the case. Originally, I was thinking that it has to do with you being in some kind of a disagreement with someone, but I don't really feel that way. More so, this is, for me, this feels like you pursuing something that you used to originally feel regret over, right? Because we were talking about the Four of Pentacles and the Chariot reverse being like a perceived massive risk that really isn't that difficult or that hard. Cancer, this feels more so like you are wanting to pursue something that perhaps other people have shamed you for, or perhaps that you feel a great deal of guilt or shame around, specifically related to your career, right? So, I mean, if you've been interested in starting a side hustle, if you have been interested in going back to school regarding a subject that maybe you feel nervous to kind of like openly admit that you are passionate about, right? This is a journey that you're going to be going on, carriage, a journey either physical or mental. But I think the most important thing here, Cancer, to keep in mind is that I don't think you're going to ever feel truly happy unless you just give it a go, unless you just give in to these feelings, right? Whenever we're trying to figure out what our mission or what our purpose is, majority of the time, it tends to usually be the one thing, the one aspect or multiple aspects in our life that perhaps we feel the most shamed over, the most ashamed of, you know, maybe feel really guilty for participating or doing those kinds of things. So, I mean, if you're interested in fields that are not like traditional lawyer, doctor kind of jobs, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just simply means that you enjoy doing something that hasn't necessarily by society's terms been clarified or defined as something that is the right move. And mostly it's because it's related to finances. Everybody, I mean, especially in the US, a lot of people's integrity is based off of how much money you're bringing in the door. And if you're not bringing enough money in the door, then you're not a good person. But I think what we're starting to recognize in this day and age is that money is simply a neutral energy, and there are a multitude of different ways in today's day and society, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, that we can harness those tools and use them to our benefit. There's always a way. You're going to be able to find a way no matter what, okay? And the biggest thing is that you just have to take the plunge. I think this is the scariest part, is just like making that move, taking that plunge, and just going for it. And once you finally take that first step, and it might be something as simple as like just starting your own social media account, posting that first post, right? For me, it doesn't necessarily matter if it like blows up or not. For me, it more so matters if I'm having fun. So that's the question that I would pass along to you. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying what it is that you're creating? Are you enjoying what you're doing? And that's all that matters, right? The money, whatever else that you're seeking will come in time. But the only way that you're going to be able to do this long term is if you're ensuring that you're excited about what you're doing and that you're enjoying what you're doing. Now, you know, there are going to be times where it may be difficult, where it may feel like it might be something that's worth giving up. But if you remind yourself, like, if you're having fun today and you're still willing to like run through the mud, run through the trenches, that's significantly better than forcing yourself to study for something or to work towards something that you have no clear passion for. And how could you be any good to the world or any of service to helping any other people if you really deeply inside hate what you're doing, you know? So if you're way more passionate about what it is that you're doing, and even if you feel like you suck in this moment in time, that's still 1,000 times better than if you were to hate what you're doing and succeeding at it. Because your heart isn't there, your integrity isn't there. So let's finish up with some blessings for you today. I thought this one would come through. Okay, so you have a blessing for good work. That's all that it is. You have a very specific voice, a very specific message to send to the world, and you need to be pursuing it. Plain and simple. So take this as your sign, Cancerians. Light and love to you today. Thanks for hanging out with me in this session. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you are interested in booking a private reading with me, or if you'd like to learn tarot with my ebook, you can find all of that information linked in the description box below. Light and love to you. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next reading. Take care.